Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to another episode of Heart to Heart with Bree. Tonight is a very special episode. Andrew, please introduce yourself to the viewers and please tell them about what we'll be doing tonight.
Sure. So, Bree, this is a new venture, I would say, right? So, again, I am your co-host every first Sunday and the occasional fifth Sundays. Tonight is special because I will be attempting to live bake a sugar-free banana bread, a banana nut bread. The aim always is to share our experiences. A large part of your experience and mine is our walk with the Lord,
Yes.
and I, the goal is to help each other on this Christian journey, and part of the Christian journey is a healthy body, a healthy spirit, a healthy mind. So that's what we're tackling tonight.
Yes, we did an episode a few months ago talking about sugar. And,
Right.
Mikey and a few others asked if you'll do a demonstration. So, Andrew
Mm-hmm.
is going to do that tonight. And if you would like to see more of this, then let us know. Andrew's always showing his delicious desserts online. And I'm always saying to myself, oh my gosh, he's trying to fatten Michelle up all those desserts. So, I am very excited about this. And if there are any questions or
Mm-hmm.
comments, please feel free
Right.
to post them, and Andrew will
Yeah.
answer all your questions. And if you
Right.
don't get to watch the live, he'll still get back in touch with you. So, Andrew, go
Sure.
ahead and
And
let's
yes.
begin.
And what I'll do is, as I'm walking through this, I will at the end um, add the ingredient list to the podcast. So if
Okay,
anybody
sounds good.
wants to see exactly what the measurements are, etc., you'll be able to have that at the end of the podcast. So um, what we're doing is creating a recipe, tweaking a very familiar recipe. Most people, regardless of where you live, your location, is familiar with a banana bread to some extent, right? Most of us will have 90% of these ingredients in our home. So the whole idea is to make this as hassle free as possible. And when I'm talking in terms of making it sugar free, that is, I'm not using honey, um, neither brown sugar or granulated sugar, white sugar. And I guess the question, Brie, is why, right? So what I have here is a cup, approximately, depending on the size, your cup may hold anywhere from 10 to 12 dates. So the fruit itself, the date is what I'll be substituting for the sugar,
Why
right?
dates? Why dates?
Um, why dates? I did my research, and I a plant as close to a natural sweetener as possible, a plant-based substitute. So dates seemed to be the perfect fit so far up to today. I
And
may
you know
change my
what? I
mind
I I
next
I
month.
like I like your choice. I like your choice. Now, I have seen that they're now making date sugar. Have you ever tried
Yeah.
it,
Oh
or
yes.
have you just okay? Okay.
Yeah, I have dates are pretty popular in the Middle East, right?
Yes.
So they have perfected, Northern Africa, the Middle East, or that region. They have perfected dates. You can get it on Amazon or in any one of your discount, not discounts, your luxury um,
Like a
stores.
Whole
Uh,
Foods or something like that.
right. So they sell the dates, the sugar. I'm assuming they will dry it and powder it. And they also sell a syrup made from the dates itself,
Okay.
right? But I'm going with the actual fruit itself. That's what
Okay.
I'm doing. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just put the dates, empty them out, right? Um, and the other the other substitute that I'm doing, Bree, is I'm using oat flour um, as part of my flour base.
Okay.
You can use 2 cups of oat flour. You could use 1 cup of oat flour plus 1 cup of all-purpose flour.
Okay.
You could use 1 cup of oat flour and 1 cup of almond flour,
Okay.
right? So that to make it as healthy as possible, right? So what I want to do first is I have my flour here, and I'm going to so instead of buying oat flour, I'm just going to use 1 cup of. You could use regular Quaker old-fashioned oats,
Okay.
or you could use if you're from the Caribbean and you're familiar with the Fosca brand, you could use the Fosca oats.
Okay.
It's the same thing, right? What what I would what I would warn against is do not use the quick oats, the packets of quick oats that it, like that is geared for children and it has the sweetener in it. Those don't bake very well, right?
Okay.
So yeah. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me, as I step out of view, um, I have to go into my food pantry. I forgot that I needed. Let me just make some room here. So this is my 1 cup of flour already. Um, and then, okay, so let me just do the oats first, and then I will tell you what I have in these other containers. Okay, so to do the oat flour, um, just pretty simple. Save yourself money and time. Um, if you have a bullet, you can just let's hope this doesn't make too much noise. Okay. And there you go. Now you have oat flour instead of
Okay.
actually going to the supermarket and spending money. You could just, I'm going to need this. I'm just let this stay to the side. So, and when you're doing the oat flour bread, just do 5 to 10 minutes. You don't want it to be too fine um, because it will make your baked good very dense.
Okay.
And yeah, so just roughly a rough grind and you're good to go. So this has my 2 cups of flour. Okay, so what do I need to do now? Okay, so let me just tell you what what I have in front of me.
Okay.
I have I have 3 eggs that I whisk. 3 eggs. I have a half a cup of Greek yogurt. Um, Again, when you're doing this healthy cooking and you're using oat flour and almond flour or even cornmeal, what tends to happen is the cake tends to be dry and it, it becomes very crummy, right?
Okay.
So I have tried a number of variations, and what I have found that works best is the more um, hydrated, the more liquid that you have,
Uh-huh.
that helps. The more fat that you have, that
Okay.
helps. So it keeps it moist, um, and also uh, you could add like 2 tablespoons of oil, um, preferably a non-fragrant oil. I would probably stay away from canola oil, so I would probably use like olive oil or something like that.
Okay.
That keeps the cake moist and longer, right?
Okay.
So my eggs, my half cup of Greek yogurt, um, a half cup of milk, and um, 1 stick of butter that I melted, right?
Okay.
Right? Stick of butter, milk, my yogurt, and egg. Okay? So that's what I have so far. Okay, so now what I want to do, okay, let's just finish with the dry ingredients
Okay.
first. Let's just, yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, we're in the fall season, Bree.
Uh-huh.
So I I like to add my spices,
Okay.
right? So I have cinnamon, and I have my let's just make sure my allspice. So
Okay.
I'm going to um, add a teaspoon of each, just a rough teaspoon, right? So depending on how spicy you want it, you could add a half a
Okay.
teaspoon or a full teaspoon. Um, Let me just switch out. I'm just going with a half. Um, and I'm not going to add any salt because I'm using salted butter,
Okay.
right? Right. So I'm not going to be adding any salt. Um, what else do I need to add to my dry ingredient at this point? I can't think of anything. I'm not adding any salt. Oh, I know. I know what I'm going to add. Two most important ingredients, Brie, coming up.
Okay. What are they?
two most important ingredients coming up. My
Okay.
baking soda and cornstarch, Ray. And baking soda and cornstarch. Right? So um, again, when you're baking with when you're baking with oats, with oat flour and almond flour, Ray, um, they they're not like the all-purpose. So
Okay. What's the difference?
um, they're much more dense.
Okay.
So you're that's I'm using a half a teaspoon measuring here. So I'm
Okay.
doing four, right? So two. I'm doing 2 teaspoons, right? So let's just rest this over here.
May I ask you a question? Is this
Yes.
recipe ideal for someone that's diabetic? I mean, or if a person that's diabetic is consuming this, do they still have to watch how much of a serving they have?
Um, I would say yes, yes and no.
Okay.
So is this a better alternative than the regular recipe?
Okay.
Yes, because we're using a better um, carbohydrate in terms of the
Okay.
flour, right? All the oat flour and the almond flour. So those are better options than the all-purpose flour. And in terms of the sugar, we're not using the refined sugar. We are using the the dates, right?
Okay.
So, and of course, the banana is also going to add not just taste but flavor.
Okay.
So this would be a better alternative for someone that is concerned about their sugar intake, um, i.e., diabetic, right? Pre-diabetic, diabetic. Um, in terms of the quantity, um, yes, definitely. You don't want to do this, which is going to be healthy, but then you're going to eat this in one sitting. No, that that's not going to work. So
Okay.
moderation in how much you consume, even with something that is healthy, is important for you, right?
Question for you, Andrew, and I don't mean to like switch up on you, but do you
Yeah.
have a an alternative recipe for like the Jamaican black cake and for sorrel?
Um, or so I would do the what I just put in was um, 1 tablespoon of the cornstarch,
Okay.
and you're asking if I have an alternative
Recipe,
to
yeah, for Jamaican black cake and for sorrel, because if you do, I'm just thinking to myself, it would be nice if you did another demonstration before Christmas.
right. I was thinking about you, and I was like, I know Brie like her chocolate, because I was thinking of doing a healthy chocolate cake. But if you want to
Well,
do
you've
the
seen that what
Jamaican,
come, Christmas is approaching, and
yeah,
I know most of us we love our black cake, but if you have an
right,
alternative for us and
sure,
an alternative for sorrel, to
right,
sweeten it with the
um,
dates. I don't know how that would taste, but I think it would be great to try it.
right. So okay, so I will definitely pencil that in and run a few tests. I'm thinking in my head, it shouldn't it shouldn't be that far fetched to extend this, the base of this, so that I could incorporate, so I could turn it into or convert it to the Jamaican Christmas cake.
Well, you
So
have a
I
little
don't see
time. You
any
have a little
reason.
time, to experiment, because
Right? Yeah.
I'm very curious.
Right. Because again, this is still going to be, it still would be my base.
Yes.
The milk, the Greek yogurt, the the butter, and the flour. So this is still going to be um, the base of it. So yes, I I'm almost 99% sure in my head that
So we'll
it's going to.
for our December, for the first week of December, that's what we'll do.
Okay, so now I'm done with the dry ingredients, right?
Okay.
I had my I had my uh, cup of oats, um, almond flour. I added my spices to it. I didn't add any salt because my butter has salt, and I added cornstarch. Um,
Okay.
so what what the cornstarch does, um, it it almost acts like a tenderizer, quote unquote. So these cakes with the oat flour and so forth tends to be very heavy. They don't rise a lot, and they tend to be very dense. So the cornstarch makes the cake light and fluffy like a regular store-bought cake. So
Okay.
that's the goal with adding the one uh, tablespoon of cornstarch.
Okay.
So let's quickly now do the um, the wet ingredients. Okay, let's quickly do the wet ingredients here. So I still have my bowl here. I didn't, no need to wash it because I'm going to, everything is going to go into the same container. So I'm just going to add my dates to it that I had here, right? Adding my dates back into the container, right? Keep that to the side. And I am going to, right, so this is what I want to do. Oh, now, I was thinking about this. I'm like, why did I put my Greek yogurt in this container and it's not going to come out? You know, I'm wasting so much of the Greek yogurt in this, but for um, life purposes, we work. Um, Again, let's just keep this over here. Okay, move this out of the way. And I'm going to add also my half cup of milk.
Okay. And what kind of milk are you using?
Right. Oh, right. So again, thanks for saying that. Um, to keep with the healthy theme, you can use your almond milk, and to even be more granular, you could use your unsweetened almond milk
Okay.
because the ordinary almond milk has sugar added to it. So
Okay, great.
so if you really wanted to be picky, you could go with the unsweetened almond milk,
Okay.
right? Right. Um, yeah. Again, uh, you could use whatever you have. You know, um, if you have your 1%, it's going to be the same. It's going to work. So whatever
Okay.
milk you have, you know. Um, Again, today we're just starting out at level one. We're just saying we're just swapping out the sugar. As you go along the process, you can find ways. Like I said, I identify different ways in terms of the flour, how you can make this as healthy as possible
Okay.
going forward. All right, so that's in. A little bit of noise coming. Um, Unlike the flour, which we just did for like 10 seconds, this will probably take about 20 to 30
Okay.
because the dates have to be chopped up real good. And again, that's a personal preference. If you don't mind um, having a few, um, you know, pieces of dates in the cake, that then. Okay, how does that look, Bree? Does that look clear enough?
Yes.
Yeah. So okay, so I think I am done with this. I'm just gonna set this aside. Okay, so now I have my okay. Let's bring this in. So I ah, so we had half half a cup of the Greek yogurt, half cup of um, almond milk, and 1 cup of uh, dates. Again, when you're doing the dates, Brie, be be careful. Even
Okay.
if you buy, even if you buy the pack that says pitted, which
Yeah.
means that which means that they took out the pit, I would still
Still double
use your
check.
hand or knife, go through and make sure that they didn't leave one inside there because you if you put that into your bullet, you're going to regret. It's going to break whatever you're working with, right? So I want everything out. So I'm just going to use my spatula to remove. Because again, we're not sweetening with regular refined sugar. So I'm using dates. So I need everything, every last drop.
I'd like to
Because
say to the viewers, if anyone is going to bake this cake, please post a picture so that we can see how it turned out. We'd love to see
right,
it.
yes, please do, please do. Okay, so one thing I found, Green,
Uh-huh.
one, one thing I found was, let me just wash my hands.
Okay.
One thing I found was when I just started this process and I was, swapping out the um, the the dates for the regular sugar,
Uh-huh.
I realized because you notice the dates, just like the prunes and raisins, they have that black, dark brown color.
Okay.
And all of my baked goods came out looking darker. And I'm like, for the most part, I mean, it's just me, my wife and my eldest son. But still, I'm like, suppose I really wanted, a standard cake um, that had that whitish look, like look to it. I'm like, how am I going to work around that? So I'm still playing around with it.
Okay.
So what I've found, so as you can see here, um, this color isn't bad. So
Okay.
that's what I have found. That's what I have found. So when I blend or bullet the dates, I put the milk and the Greek yogurt in it, and that changes the color. Because before I would just do it with a cup of water, and like I said, um, it didn't come out well at all. Okay, so how are we doing for time, Ray?
We have about 28 minutes left, but if we go a little over, that's fine.
Okay, good. So so that's my sweetener. I have my melted butter, 1 stick, and again, this is salted. If you're going to use unsalted, then I would add a half a teaspoon um, of salt.
Can we use any salt, or would you recommend something like sea salt?
Um, I we have the pink. My wife
Oh,
buys the
the pink
pink.
Himalayan salt. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And those grains tend to be a little bit larger,
Okay.
and the taste is just as good.
Okay.
I Yeah. So, and you could use the regular table salt. Um,
Okay.
those grains are smaller, so you're going to end up with more. So I would just say just be careful of the amount of sugar, because the smaller the grain, the more saltier it's going to be, as opposed to the larger grain salt,
Okay.
right? Yeah, yeah. So because let me just give this a stir. So I have my sugar, my plant-based sugar, and my butter. I just want to get that incorporated. Okay, one thing. Um, Really, as I step out of focus,
Okay.
I am going to. So I'm going to bake this um, at 350 degrees
For how long?
for approximately 50 minutes.
Okay.
So I would say give and take, depending on, because everybody's oven is different.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I just got this, and it has been driving me crazy.
Okay.
Um, it runs pretty fast, and so I've been having a little bit of difficulty tweaking my recipes because of this new oven
Okay.
that we have. But uh, right now it seems at 350 for 50 minutes seems good.
Okay.
Or if you wanted to, um, you know, intuitively, I'm thinking if I'm doing oats and this is going to be so dense, and especially like when I do the Christmas cake, I would definitely go for 320 or
Okay.
325, but then bake it for, let's say, an hour and 15. So it will bake slower
Okay.
um, and longer. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I'm just thinking as I'm doing this, and I'm thinking about the one for Christmas. Um, yeah, that's what I would do. So,
Okay.
so I'm going to add my. Here I have 3 eggs, and of course Brie. Um, I guess the question would be, um, why why am I doing this, right?
Okay.
Um, I would probably say
Excuse me.
in 20, wash my hands again, Brie,
Okay.
working with that egg. Yeah, I would, I on one of my regular schedule um, physicals,
Okay.
my doctor, I did my blood work and everything, and my doctor said, requested for me to come in, which is never a good thing. So I knew
Right.
something was up. And he said, Andrew, I mean, your blood work has always been good. Like what's going on? Said my A1C was up. So that's what started me on my fitness journey,
Yeah.
where I, decided that I'm going to change everything.
Okay.
I'm just going to just change everything. I'm not going to look for an excuse. I don't think I don't I don't subscribe to being pre-diabetic. You're either quote unquote normal or you're diabetic. There's no such thing as pre-diabetic.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a diabetic or you're not. That's just I'm not going to um, fool myself. So even when you told me of it being slightly elevated, um, I just went straight. I just went into action.
Okay.
So that's why I'm on this journey,
Okay.
working out, working out. Okay, so to add it to my wet ingredients, I have my vanilla extract. And of course, you can't have too much. That's just me. I just like putting in my vanilla and my if I ran out of rose water.
Okay.
That just whenever I'm baking, it just reminds me of Portland
Yeah.
baked goods that has that smell. It just takes me back to a rainy day in Portland. Yeah, it just reminds me of home. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. So now here comes the bananas. You want them as dark as possible, like this. I would definitely never eat this. Never. When my wife buys ripe bananas, I only eat them on the, the first 2 to 3 days,
I'm
where
like
this
that
is
too. They have to
like
be yellow. If they're like
yeah,
that, I know it's for banana
light,
bread because I'm
yeah,
not eating
like
that.
light yellow, yeah. But I would never eat this.
Now,
Yeah,
I went to Uchi Pines years ago and I noticed that they had them out looking like that. And they said that that's when they're at their best. But personally, I can't eat a banana
yeah,
that looks like that.
yeah.
It has to be for banana bread.
You're right. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah, no, no. This would um, shoot up your 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 blood glucose levels.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah, definitely not. Um, so I'm using three. So okay, so what I was going to say is, if you, let's say you felt for this breed, but you just went to the supermarket, you just came back, and your bananas didn't look like that with
Okay.
those black spots. So here, here, here's a trick breed. So if you really want to have to make this, and when I'm doing this it's only because I'm talking to you and I'm trying to be quote unquote neat. Um, I prepare this in less than 10 minutes. This
Okay.
would be put together in 10 minutes and inside the oven. So I would have this all whipped up and done within 1 hour. Really.
Okay.
Um, so if you have it and your bananas are, hard, they're they're ripe bananas, but they're just hard, right? Put them in your in your in your toaster, right? Put it on bake, 350 for about
Okay.
5 minutes,
Okay.
and it will the heat will turn the bananas fully ripe. The skin is going to be black, and they're going to be as mushy as this.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's just a quick hack. Just bake it for watch it. I would say 5 to 7 minutes. Obviously, you won't be able to use them immediately because they'll be really hot. But you know you can work around that.
Okay.
Really and truly. Yeah. Instead of adding the milk to this, I would just add some of the milk to the banana, and that cold milk will just bring this back down to room temperature.
Okay.
So you would necessarily have to sit down, you know, half an hour, 45 minutes, waiting for it to get to room temperature, right?
Okay.
Um, right. So that's just a quick little hack right there. Just bake it. I'm just I I want to get this as soft as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like big chunks of banana in my banana bread. I just want to taste it. I don't necessarily want to bite
Yes.
into the banana bread, right? And you definitely don't want to. So you just want to purify that, slightly. Do not put it in a bowl. Definitely you use your hand. Okay, so this is ready now. Okay, so um, I have um, what did I put inside here? I put my milk and my butter. I put my essence, the sugar. So Bree, we are ready.
Okay.
Um, what what I would do is, just because I am crazy, I agree, because I'm putting. Oops, that's not a cap.
What is that?
Vinegar.
Okay, vinegar.
Yeah. Yes. Again, the the heaviness, the heaviness of the almond flour, the heaviness of the oat flour. I want the acid from the vinegar. You could use white vinegar. You could use apple cider vinegar. You could use. You could squeeze a lime, right? So any one of those, when that interacts with the 2 teaspoons of the baking soda, um, is going to give as much rise as possible.
Okay.
Otherwise, again, like I said, baking with these healthy flours um, creates a very heavy and dense cake. So
Okay.
I try to be as smart as possible.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to. Am I forgetting anything? No. Okay, so now I'm going to add the flour to the liquid. I'm going to add it dry to the liquid, and just add my. Okay, so as I get this going, I'm going to switch out grain from my whisk back to my spatula here. Yes, again, this is very, very dense.
Okay.
And just add the remainder. Of course, this batter typically is heavy, and as it sits down here, the oat is going to absorb the liquid.
Okay.
So don't be worried if you're like, wow, this is not feeling like my standard cake. This is going to get very thick on you, simply because of the type of flour that we're using.
Now, will you be using a loaf pan?
Right? Yes, yes, Bree.
Okay. Now,
I
will you butter and flour it?
Okay. So what I'm going to do, um, sometimes sometimes I do that, Bree, but
Okay.
but sometimes I like to like tonight. I ooh, I thought I did. Bree, I actually thought I prepared it. Um, my pan is here, and I thought, um, tell me how we do with time.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, so what I like to do is just use parchment paper, Marie. I
Okay.
typically, so that's why before we started, and you told me, oh, Andrew, do you need that scissors beside you? The answer was yes. I,
Okay.
I yeah, normally, normally, for tonight purposes, so I just create a sleeve,
Okay.
right? So I just create a sleeve with my parchment paper. Um, this way, I ensure that it's not sticking,
Okay.
um, and I will have an easy release, right? As opposed to uh, greasing it and adding flour to it, which works, you know. But sometimes you just want that added insurance, right? Okay, so this is just a regular nine. What is it like a 9 by 5 loaf pan?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so move that out of the way, and I'm washing my hands again. I just I'm just crazy about constantly making sure that my hands are clean as I am
I'm a hand
cooking.
washer too, so trust me, I understand.
My wife is like, didn't I just buy a whole pack of paper towels? Like, what exactly are you doing with the paper towels? I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, I yeah. I don't know if it's COVID or what, but yeah. So what I'm going to do is just get some nuts and add to the top of it. Again, my my family don't like the raisins and currants. Um, if you like that, when I'm adding the the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, at that point you could just incorporate whatever raisins and currants that you like. But I didn't do that because uh, they're not big on raisins and currants. They don't mind the nuts on the top, but yeah. Okay, so tap it a few times,
Okay.
and we are going to uh, put that in to bake.
How long do you let it bake for?
So that's going to be for 50 minutes, 350 for
Okay.
50 minutes, right? And oops, and what we have, Green, is what we have is the magic of television, Green. What we have is the magic of television. So, uh, 350, 50 minutes, and this is what the, can you see, Green?
Yes, I can.
Right, so this is what your finished banana nut bread. So I just add the nut part. It's still banana bread, but I just added nuts to the top. So this is what it will look like. All
Okay.
right. And I guess the proof is in. Okay, so you see it didn't fall. It is, you see that it is very, very soft. It's not hard. It's not dense, right? But again, notice that the color still comes out dark. So that is still the 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 drawback when we're using the dates to substitute for refined sugar.
Okay.
The baked good tend to have this color. Of course, you know you're baking it for yourself. Um, it doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother
Well, it's
the
good that you
family.
mentioned it because for the person that's doing something like this for the first time, they'll know that they
Right,
didn't make a mistake in the recipe or anything
right,
like that. Yeah.
right. And so now, since I showed you the the texture, the smell. Of course, you can't smell it, but if you are here, the smell is on point. It smells exactly like your standard banana bread. The as you can see, it's you know there are crumbs, so
Okay.
it's not heavy and doughy and gummy.
Okay.
You can see that there are crumbs, so you know so it's light, right? So now, mhm, yeah, I guess I should have put a smaller piece in my mouth, but so um, the the taste. Sorry about the piece I put in my mouth. I didn't. I wasn't thinking. I was, you know.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. We understand. We understand. We understand. You know, um,
Yeah.
I appreciate that you did this demonstration. I'm looking forward to you doing another one next month if you're okay
Yeah.
with that.
Sure.
Do you have any closing thoughts or any tips that you'd like to pass on to the viewers?
Okay. Take number one, two, three, four, and five. If you're on a health journey, whether it's just because you just want to grow old gracefully and strong, or or um, you have health related issues, right? Any chronic disease, arthritis, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease. Um, there are a couple of things that you have to keep in mind when you're doing this. Even when you're baking or when you're cooking, your healthy food will not breathe. It will not taste like the traditional normal food. So this does not taste bad. I'm not saying that not because it doesn't taste the same, the opposite of it is bad. No, this is good. What you have to do is you have to retrain your eyes because we
And your
eat with
taste
our
buds,
eyes.
right?
You have to retrain your taste buds. So this is not sugary sweet. No, because there's, I mean, not unless I put like probably 2 cups of dates, but 1 cup is fine for me. You may want to probably try a cup and a half if you really want to be sweet. But the the profile is here. It is a banana bread. It's light, it's crummy, the texture is good, the smell is good. It is just the only thing, it is not as sweet. Um, will it satisfy you? Yes. But you have to, over time, retrain your eyes, how you eat, your taste buds. But other than that, Brie, I would say to me, this is excellent. It's not a one-for-one equivalent, but um, for your health going forward, to live your best life after 60, um, you can't beat this.
Yes. Yeah. And well, once again, I thank you for sharing that recipe. And before we close out, I would be remiss if I did not mention what happened to Jamaica a few days
Right.
ago. You know,
Yeah.
um, let's continue to pray for Jamaica. And there are a lot of scams going on online. There are a lot of scam sites that have been
Mhm.
set up, trying to rip people off, which I think is so wicked. So be
Right. Yeah.
careful. Do your research on where you decide to donate your money,
Right.
and don't think that whatever you choose to donate, that it's too small of an amount to
Right.
donate. If
Right.
you
Yeah.
donate
Yeah.
what you can afford, I've watched a
Exactly.
lot of clips online, and it's heartbreaking to see
Mhm.
people having to start all over again. It's
Right. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very tragic, but at the end of the day, I just thank God for, all the effort that's being put in place now.
Mhm.
They're getting supplies, they're getting money,
Right.
all of that.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just my prayer that Jamaica will bounce back from this sooner than
Right. Right.
later. Yeah.
You exactly. Exactly. Give, not just pray, but give your time. It doesn't have to be monetary.
Yes.
You can volunteer. You can, you know, be on the phones. You can be sending out, um, mail. And there are various ways that we all can fit in. And
Yes.
you
And
don't
we
think
have
because what
we
you
have
have to contribute.
we
Yeah.
do have schoolmates who have different efforts that they're putting
Yeah.
together, and the
Mhm.
people that I've seen posting, they're definitely legit people. So
Exactly. Yeah.
feel free to donate if you feel like that's where you want to make your donation. But yeah, I'm
Exactly.
just very
Yeah.
thankful to see that some of our schoolmates are putting things in place to be of
Right.
help. Yeah. So
Exactly.
once
Right.
again, Andrew, thank you so much. This was
Thanks.
different. This was this was our first baking or cooking
And
demonstration.
maybe our last. It could be our last.
So thank you. Thank you. I mean, you did a great
Yeah.
job, and I do appreciate it. And like I said to the viewers, if you decide to do this recipe, feel free to share a
Please
picture.
let me
We'd
know.
love to see how it turns out, and let us know, what did
Yes.
you think of
Please
the
let me
taste,
know.
the texture, all of that.
Yeah. And if
So
you
what
and if you have any recommendations,
yes.
yeah. Um, if you for somebody that's just saying, why didn't you go with the how would you say, not the refined sugar, but the but the other type, the added sugar, the sucralose and the other types of uh, chemically um, produced sugar. Right? The type, the category is evading at the moment. I don't like those manufactured sugars. Um, the, the science and the research is still out on the long term effects that they have. So I'm always trying to look for a natural plant based sugar substitute. So that's why I went with the dates.
And that
But if
makes
you have
sense.
any other,
That makes perfect
go ahead.
sense. That makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. And hey, if there's anyone out there who would like to do a cooking demonstration on
Hmm.
Heart to Heart, feel free to reach
Yeah.
out. I mean, this was
Yeah.
very
Let us
interesting,
know.
Andrew. So, yeah, thank you
Thanks.
once again. And I look forward
Thanks.
to your next recipe. I'd like to wish everyone a
The Christmas
blessed
cake.
week. God
Yeah.
bless and have a
God
great
bless.
week.
Amen. Amen.